What's wise, my people? What is wise? You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, this is wise thoughts, wise moves, wise clues for you guys to be wise too. And I'm the wise guy who once was that fool. Yeah, man, say no to tobacco before I even start anything. Man, we gonna get off into something real quick like this. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get into it just like this. The maggot that turned into a fly. You know where I'm coming from? Yeah, I'm in the riddle right now. You got maggots out here that's turning into flies and flying around in everybody's business. Let me say it that way. Yeah, you got these maggots that started out crawling around. Now they flying around in everybody's business, man. They flying into bullshit, bringing the bullshit to you, and they flying on all kind of throw up shit and bringing that throw up shit to you and all that. Yeah, that's what these maggots do. But let me tell you about these maggots. They start out, you know where I'm coming from, with a good old smile on their face, crawling around trying to see what they can find. You know, there's certain things they got to keep on eating, trash, you know what I'm saying, nasty stuff to even turn into this fly, you know where I'm coming from. So they crawl around trying to see what they could do, you know, plotting and planning on how they can get what they need to get to turn into this fly that they need to become. You know where I'm coming from? Yeah, turn into this fly. Then once they turn into that fly, man, they don't care about nothing, man. They don't care where they fly. They all on your food. They flying all on your cup. They flying everywhere. And if you open your door and leave it open too long, they gonna even fly inside your house, man. You know where I'm coming from? So you gotta watch these maggots, man. These maggots out here that turn into flies. They rocking on that negative frequency, you know what I'm saying? So everything about them is negative, you know? But how they play is like I keep trying to share with you guys, I'm gonna share it one more time. That smile that be on their face, sometimes the look, they look like money too. So let me say that too. They look like money. Yeah, they look like money once they turn into these flies. They look like money, you know, so that's how they get the attention, you know, some of these flies. It's like a subject that I was sharing with you guys the other day. Well, not the other day, on my last subject. I need to go check it out, where I was talking about most people that look like money do not speak true information. They do not speak from the truth, you know. They speak from being hurt. Most of the people who got money, you know, they was hurt for so long or went through certain things for so long or cried for too long to where now when they got the money, they don't care about nothing but keep on getting more money. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to get off that subject because I ain't finna talk about something that I already talked about. You know where I'm coming from? But yeah, these flies, they look like money, you know? And they draw attention. So you're, like I say, you leave the door open, anything like that, they flying in. You know, they coming around, bring, and this is what's so crazy. I kind of said it earlier, but I'm going to say it again so I can say it clearly where you can really understand what I'm saying. These flies, they fly on to shit. Man, these flies fly on the shit, man. They fly on dog shit. They fly on human shit. They fly on all kind of shit, these flies out here. You know where I'm coming from? And what makes these flies so nasty, you know where I'm coming from? And what makes these flies so disrespectful? Let me say it this way. What makes these flies so disrespectful, man? After flying on all that shit that they fly on, the dog shit, the human shit and all that, they'll come fly, like I said, right on your food, right on the cup that you drinking out of. Yeah, I'm in some riddles right now. You know what I'm saying? So everybody got a fly that fly around them that's so disrespectful and always keeping bullshit going when they around, when they even come around. You know what I'm coming from? It's always some bullshit they always doing. You know what I'm saying? There's not one day that you can ride with them or kick it with them that is positive. It's always something negative going on with them, man. But we're going to get off of that and get on this right here. You know where I'm coming from? I heard old 607 speak this way the other day on one of his podcast shows, man. It was kind of, you know, it kind of made me feel good to even hear him speak that way, you know. Because it goes to show to me, and it's just my opinion may make me look like an asshole, right? But I'm going to share it anyway, you know what I'm saying? Because the wise guy don't care too much about looking how people judge him or how people look at him. The wise guy care about how he feel, not about how he look. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of y'all stuck on how y'all look. See, the wise guy care about how he feel. How he look, he really too much don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of y'all spend a lot of money on trying to look good. You know where I'm coming from? See, the wise guy spends money on trying to feel good. You understand where I'm coming from? But yeah, like I'm saying, 607, I heard you say an eye for an eye will leave us blind. You know, in the book, they tell you an eye for an eye. It's what you're supposed to do, a two for a two, and all that. See, growing up in my days, you know where I'm coming from? I'm going to tell y'all a story about certain things, you know. Certain people growing up in my days in Oklahoma City, you know what I'm saying, on the north side of the street in North Highlands, you know where I'm coming from? Go Google that up if you really want to know about North Highlands, you know where I'm coming from? Google it up back in the 85 and 84 and 86 and all up in there too if you're going to Google it. You understand what I'm saying? So you ain't got to believe when I'm telling you about Oklahoma City on the north side of the streets. The internet will tell you too. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, we're going to get off of that. We're going to get on what I was talking about. And what I was talking about is this right here, an eye for an eye. See, back in the days, certain people used to do certain things that hurt me, right? Or get up under my skin. Or either make me feel a certain type of way. See, back then, that's when I was a fool. You know, I didn't know how to take negative and make it positive. I didn't know how to do that back then. So what I did was, when I saw negative, I got negative with it too. You know where I'm coming from? So that's the eye for an eye. You know, once you see something or somebody do something to you, you try to do something back to them. You know where I'm coming from? So what I was used to do, like the people that used to do certain things to me, I wouldn't even actually tell them that they was doing it. You know where I'm coming from? Because I programmed my brain to think that those who was doing these things to me knew that they was doing it. You know where I'm coming from? So I looked like, dang, these people disrespected me on purpose. Back in the days, that's how I used to look at it, you know? So when they do something to me, like I said, I didn't share it with them that they done it. You know where I'm coming from? I would just put up a plan or a plot to come up together, and then I'll try to do them even 10 times worse than what they done to me. You understand what I'm saying? And then what happened was that's the eye for an eye. So what happened with that is that people like that got mad at me, you know what I'm saying? So when they did the stuff to me, I didn't go out there and share what this person did or what that person did or how this person did this or how that person did that. I didn't go share all that. You know what I'm saying? I kept it to myself. But these people, after the eye for an eye that I done to them, what they done was went and shared it with people. You know where I'm coming from? It's almost like Judas. You know how Judas went and told everybody Jesus was a false prophet and he tried to collect coins, you know what I'm saying, to tell where he was located at, because it was people not liking Jesus because Jesus was a wise man. You know what I'm saying? A loving man, and people loved him where they wanted to be around him just because of who he is and what he was. You know where I'm coming from? But anyway, I'm going to get back to what I'm talking about, you know? So like I said, I would do some 10 times worse to them without telling them that they done something to me first, you know? And they, like I say, they would get mad at me and then go share what I done to them with people around to have people to look at me a certain way. So what I'm saying is the attention that I used to have back in the days, people didn't look at me as a bad person, you know what I'm saying? But when I go do something to certain people back in the days, like the iPhone and I stuff, they would go to these people and make these people look at me differently than how I was moving out here out here. You know where I'm coming from? So what happened is that I started thinking, like, dang, this person don't even know, or these people don't even know what they doing to me, or the reason why I done what I done. They don't even know. So I started thinking, I like, dang. So it's almost like this. Everybody go blind when it's an eye for an eye. It's almost now nobody even care about nothing no more but themselves. When you hurt this person, they hurt you back. And that stops you from loving the next person. You know where I'm coming from? It stops you from understanding the next person. It stops you from even talking to the next person. It also stops some of you people to go out here and poison and dirty up the next person's name. You know where I'm coming from? So I'm explaining this eye for an eye, like I said, because I heard 607 Unc speak on it. And like I said, I don't know if he was sitting back listening to my videos, because we all blessed with certain gifts to get information from where we get it from. So it's probably just something that he popped up and said. But I've been watching 607 Unc. I give him his props, you know what I'm saying? He's a wise man and all that. You know what I'm saying? But all the shows I've been watching, I never heard him speak about the eye for an eye, you know? And I spoke about it like a couple of years, but you know, well, I'm gonna leave that alone. But I'm explaining y'all what I mean by this eye for an eye now, you know? So when I came up with that, he crossed me, or they crossed me, and I crossed them, we both blind. You know where I'm coming from? Nobody able to see nothing. So what I said is, maybe if somebody be a bigger person and admit to what they do wrong, it will open up the blind eye. So now we're able to sit down and talk. We're able to love each other. We're able to support each other. We're able to understand each other. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what I was meaning, that the eye for an eye and he was blind. You know where I'm coming from? Yeah, I heard 607 Unc speak that on this podcast show the other day. I like, yeah, man, maybe somebody's listening to me. You know where I'm coming from? But I'm going to get off of that and get on this right here. You know where I'm coming from? They say back in the day, I ain't going to say back in the days, it was an old saying that goes like this. What is it to gain the world and lose yourself? You understand what I'm saying? And now I'm finna go back to something that Charleston White said. He said he don't listen to people who don't got no money. He don't listen to people who try to pull their family together. He don't listen to this and this and that. You know, so I'm here to tell Charleston White something. A wise man, not just me, you know, I'm saying wise people, period, you know, out here in this world. I'm gonna give you a little understanding or break this down, what my opinion or what I feel that riddle meant. What is it to gain the world and lose yourself? So I did a show, I think it was last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. I said I'm happy with $2. So now I'm gonna break all that down to where it get you guys to understand what I was meaning by this, you know? See, once you understand what's really going on out here in this world that we're living in, this life that we live in, you understand what I'm saying? You understand that we just living in this world and we running this race that we have no control over. You know where I'm coming from? And to go against what created the race is actually to go against yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So when you start at a young age, you know, some people may program their brain to say, wait, hey, I want to be a billionaire. I want to be a millionaire, and I want to have an 8-bedroom house with 6, 7 cars in the driveway. You know what I'm saying? When you're young, you program some people program their head that way. I'm gonna go get me a good job. I'm gonna go out here and train so hard to be a good basketball, a sport, you know, whatever sport you happy playing. You know where I'm coming from? You know? So then in the process of that, you're young, you know, you get older, you know, then you start realizing that everything that you trained yourself to do and everything that you got gained wisdom to understand to do it the right way, once you get to a certain point in your life, you get to understanding certain things. You know where I'm coming from? So I'm gonna get to break this down to you guys with my opinion when they say, what is it? Why is it to gain the world and lose yourself? So I said I was a fool, you know where I'm coming from? Like I was saying this a while ago, when we're young, we program ourselves to say what we want to be or what we want to have when we get a certain age in life. The stuff that we want at a young age is stuff that's material. It's not nothing that's going to bring your people together. It's not nothing that's going to give you understanding on how to love your people. It's nothing that's going to give you an understanding to turn negative things into positive things so you can understand how to deal with people. Let me say it that way. You know, gaining the world don't teach you none of that. See, gaining the world is actually what puts us off in survival mode. See, when you're in survival mode, you're only able to use survival tactics. See what I'm saying? You're trying to gain the world. See, you gaining the world, you're programming your brain to be and move a certain way. When you don't even know that's what you're doing until you get to a certain point of your life, right? And you realize, I'm gonna tell y'all this story. You get a certain point in your life, right? I remember this night, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna explain this night to y'all. I was sitting in a 5-bedroom house with a 3-car garage. 4 cars sitting, 2 cars in the driveway, 2 cars in the garage. Jacuzzi in the backyard. You know where I'm coming from? I made a phone call one day to my mom's. I said, hey, something hit me. So I got everything I want. This job that I work supplied me with everything that I wanted, right? I didn't want nothing else. I said, Mom, I ain't happy. Yep, that's what happened. I said, I'm not happy. So they say, what is it to gain the world and lose yourself? I lost myself, but I had the world with nobody in it that loved me in this world. Everybody using their wisdom as this fly. You know, that's why I explained to you guys about this maggot, these maggots. Let me say it that way. These maggots that turn into flies. You know where I'm coming from? So I said, I ain't happy. There's too many maggots flying, just turning into flies that's just flying around. I can't even leave my door open. I can't even open up my window sometimes and let a breeze come in because they even trying to find a crack in my screen windows. You understand what I'm saying? So I started studying, got deeper off into trying to finding me. You understand what I'm saying? So once I started looking at me, I said, hey man, I can be happy with $2. All the other stuff don't mean nothing to me. I can't take a U-Haul to the grave with me. Only thing I can take is everybody who I love loving me. You understand what I'm saying? So I said, I got to find myself before I lose myself again to a place that I don't want to lose myself to. So I opened up my third eye, you know where I'm coming from? Because my two eyes got blurry. My third eye started scoping up the visions and started looking at the scenery. You know where I'm coming from? And that's when serenity hit me. I said, boy, you already in peace. You understand what I'm saying? That wisdom gave me serenity. Then once that serenity came, it gave me courage. So this is the reason why I be speaking out here on this podcast show, because it gave me the courage to share certain things, how I share it, the way I share it. You know where I'm coming from? Yeah, but we're going to get off of that, though, and get on this right here, though. You know where I'm coming from? I ain't going to get too deep off into that one. We're going to say this right here. Some people say, I was talking to one of my homegirls the other day, right? And it was some flies, right? That was bothering her. You understand what I'm saying? And these flies that was bothering her, she felt if she spoke to the flies and explained to these flies what they was doing that was bothering her, that she was being negative. So she chose to hold it in her and allow these flies to continue to do what they did until she couldn't take it no more, right? So she called me the other day, you know, and we talked for about 3-4 hours on the phone. You know where I'm coming from? So I shared this with her. To speak to anybody, I don't care who it is, from your grandma all the way down to your kids. If they doing anything that you don't sit well inside of your soul, it's not negative to speak what you feel that's bothering you. Only a negative person don't even look at it that way. See, this is how you're supposed to fix things. You know where I'm coming from? How you feel, you're supposed to be able to share it with the people. I ain't gonna say people, because I'm already talking about these flies. So let me get off of them people and let me talk about these flies, right? You know where I'm coming from? Yeah. So when you speaking to these flies, man, they gonna look at it negative, right? But you not being negative when you asking these flies to stop flying on your food. Stop flying on your cup, bringing the shit that they flying on inside your house. You understand what I'm saying? That's not being negative. That's you speaking what's bothering you. And that goes to anybody out here. You know, because I keep on hearing people saying, well, he or she is negative. If I say something about the pencil, right? If I say something about the ink pen, I'm negative because I said something about the ink pen or the pencil. See, you got to ask yourself this right here. Where did this word negative come from? Right? Then once you ask yourself where this word negative came about, ask yourself this: who came up with the meaning of what is negative? And why do negative have so many different meanings? You understand where I'm coming from? So this is what I'm going to break down to you guys real quick. I can say 5 words to you, right? To anybody. Well, I ain't going to say anybody. I'm going to say those who see the same light going to understand what I say anyway. I can only say 2 words and they're going to finish the 3 because we see the same light. You know where I'm coming from? But those who don't see the same light, let me say it this way. I can use 5 words, right? And the 5 words that I'm going to use is all kind of different meanings to each one of them words. So then they tell you it's negative to even ask anybody a question. Don't ask nobody no question. What they say, don't ask God no questions. Well, I don't know who said that, but it's in the book. Somebody created that. Don't question God, right? Hey, but let me say this, right? It's not negative to ask questions. It's not evil. Evil is the same thing as negative. Like I say, they change these words and flip these words, and if you don't say it right, somebody gonna think you meaning this. If you don't say it this way, somebody gonna think you meaning that. And if you say the 5 words like I'm keep on explaining, if we don't see the same light, whatever meaning you think these 5 words that I said, you gonna think I mean that. You know, it's a bunch of gulai that's in the game. You know where I'm coming from? So what I came up with, you know what I'm saying, is, you know, I use their words too. But with my experience in life, I have my own meanings to some of their words. You know, some of the words like red, I go with red because a red is actually a red, whatever you see. You know, light is a light, you know, dark is dark. So that's common sense, you know. So you gotta really have common sense on that part of it. But some of these words is tricky, man, and don't let nobody ever think that you've been negative for asking anybody a question. Don't let nobody think that you've been negative for speaking how you feel. Even if they're not feeling it. That's how you feel. Now, if they want to question how you feel, then let's talk about it. Let's have a debate. We ain't got to dislike each other to have a debate, right? But we're going to get off of that and get on this right here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're going to get off of that and get on this right here. You know where I'm coming from? I was watching the news the other day, right? And they got this new, in Oklahoma City is what I'm talking about. You know, they got this new school board who came in. I forgot her name, who it is. You know, they passed this law, right? To where now, if you're not able to read past a 5th grade level, then you're gonna have to stay in the 5th grade until you're able to read that way. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what they should have did. I'm sharing this story to say this. Back in my days, man, it could be a teacher sitting in your classroom, you know where I'm coming from? Like 17, 20 people in a room. So probably like 5 people in the classroom know how to read real good. The other 5 know how to read out, a little bit. And the other 5 don't even know how to sound out or read nothing, right? See, back in my day, they'll pass you all the way to the 12th grade. You know where I'm coming from? So this is the reason why you had a lot of people out here back in the early days who couldn't read. Some of y'all talks about them and say what y'all say. But what y'all ain't understanding is that I explained to you guys about an obstacle that was placed in this race. I don't care who you is, you have to run it. You know where I'm coming from? It's like I say, my meaning is my meaning, how I'm saying it, but you know, you take it however you want to, but I'm explaining what I'm saying. You know where I'm coming from. Yeah, you have to run this race. No matter who you is or what you is. You know where I'm coming from. The obstacle that they put in the race, it's a lot of obstacles that they placed in the race, you know. But it's almost like this. If you don't teach the kids how to read and you push them to next grade and you know they don't know how to read, then you push them to the next grade and you still know that they don't know how to read, you program. That's the negative frequency. It's almost like, see, we always say that the negative frequency come through music or TV. Now it's a negative frequency that actually was created that's forced, that I call the obstacle. Let me say it that way. You know what I'm coming from? In this race that we running, that caused us to go negative too. You know, because just imagine a person who's couldn't read in the third grade, got shipped to the sixth grade, couldn't read, and then got shifted to the ninth grade and couldn't read. You're creating some fools, right? So how can you ask some fools to move in the correct way when you pushed them from the third grade all the way to the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, knowing that they couldn't read? And out here in this life that we live in, if you don't know how to read, it's only one thing that you're stuck out here in this world that you're going to have to do. Then you got to ask yourself, why is that even here? Because they already knew what they was doing. If you push them to be fools and then you fly the jets in, you're going to have a lot of fools around. You know, let me get off of that because I'm getting too deep with it. You understand? But you're going to have a lot of fools around who ain't going to understand what's really going on and how it's going on. You know where I'm coming from? And the whole thing is, those who placed it out here to move the way that it's moving have our own people blaming these fools, not even understanding that this obstacle that was created in this race that we didn't even choose to run is what forced them to be who they is and what they is. So how can you blame a fool? How can you blame a fool for being a fool when no one ever gave them anything to see? But what they see, the jets flying in. You understand what I'm saying? But we don't get off of that, man. We're going to get on this right here. I'm going to talk about the 3 men that was important in my life. You understand what I'm talking about? Yeah, we're going to talk about the 3 men that was important in my life. You know where it's coming from? See, this wise guy was able to learn from these 3 men. Yeah, these 3 men, y'all think I was a fool. Hey, these 3 men right here put the ESTS to that sucker. You know where I'm coming from? Did I say it right? If I didn't, I'm going to say it again. Put the EST to it. You know where I'm coming from? Yeah, I'm talking about my bro, man, M-Dog, my other bro, D-Dog, and my big OG, my father. You know where I'm coming from, man? I'm going to talk a little bit about them right quick before I get up out of here. You know where I'm coming from? Yeah, my bro M-Dog, man. That's my big bro, right? I'm gonna share a story with you guys, man, about my bro M-Dog, man. See, North Highlands, man, Oklahoma City, North Highlands, right? Big bro, M-Dog, a lot of people don't know. Out here in this Oklahoma City area, North Highlands, I'm gonna explain to you guys how they even got a chance to meet Low. How they even got a chance to meet Charlie Mack. You know where I'm coming from? Explain that to you guys, man. My bro M-Dog, man. See, my bro M-Dog, man, that boy right there was a fool. I'm talking about, hey. So what I used to do is sit back and just watch him at a young age, watch him do what he do, how he used to do it, the moves he used to make. He was good at wrestling, football, and all that good stuff, you know where I'm coming from. So I watched him move around. I don't get too deep off into the story, you know where I'm coming from. Yeah, but my bro M-Dog, you know what I'm saying, he had a lot to do with what started North Highlands, the way, in our generation, you know where I'm coming from. Well, not my generation, his generation, let me say it that way. He had a lot to do with what started the City Boys. You know where I'm coming from? He had a lot to do with it. I say 50% of it come from him. You know where I'm coming from? The other 50 come from the other brothers. You know where I'm coming from? Well, I'm gonna get off of M-Dog, because I ain't gonna get too deep in y'all on that one. I'm gonna get off to my other bro. You know what I'm saying? D-Dog. You know where I'm coming from? Rest in peace, man. So I can get a little bit deeper with you guys about with D-Dog. I know y'all guys seen Menace to Society, right? See, I met O-Dog in real life. You know where I'm coming from? I think that was his name on Menace. Was that his name, O-Dog? Yeah. Menace to Society, O-Dog. I met O-Dog in real life, and his name was D-Dog. You know where I'm coming from? That was my bro. It was M-Dog, D-Dog, and then me, you know. That was the real O-Dog. The one on the movie was just acting. You know where I'm coming from? Yeah, my bro D-Dog, he couldn't stay out of the jailhouse though, you know? And this is what's so cold about my bro D-Dog. I can't get too deep on it because it touched me. So I'm gonna share a little bit with you, you know? But shoot, D-Dog, so wow, 7 years penitentiary. Got out for about another year, probably not even a year, probably like 8 months. Went right back in there and did 8 more years. Got out, stayed out for about probably about another 8 more months, probably 10 months, no longer than a year. I mean, rest in peace after that, you know where I'm coming from. Yeah, but we don't get off of that, can't get too, but that's gonna touch me. But my father, now we're gonna go on this one with my father, man. My father, I didn't say it right. My pops, man, the OG of all of us. Yeah, man, I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about my father. I ain't gonna get too deep into it. Rest in peace to the big OG. You know where I'm coming from? Bumpy Face Johnson. I met him in real life. He raised me. But it was my father. They called him DC. You know where I'm coming from? Yeah, I met him in real life. I got taught a lot of things. Seen a lot of things. You know where I'm coming from? So this wise guy come from something, you know what I'm saying? The wise guy understand a lot of things that a lot of people don't think the wise guy understand. Because like Charleston White say, if you don't look like money, nobody think you ever been through nothing. Yeah, nah, man. Go look at my show, Happy with $2. You know where I'm coming from? And then you'll understand a little bit more about the wise guy. You know where I'm coming from? Yeah, and this is wise thoughts, wise moves, wise clues for you guys to be wise too. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm the wise guy who once was that fool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like and subscribe and leave me some comments, and don't forget about checking out that boy Jay Trials. You know what I'm saying? He coming on out with some more fresh hits. Y'all get out there and check him out. You know what I'm talking about? And I swear to God on my blunt, I'm up out of here.